Hello. Hi, I'm Emma. In today's video I wanted to do like a very simple trad goth eye look because I got a comment asking if I could do a bit of like a eyeshadow tutorial. So I wanted to sort of make it as simple as possible, only using a few colours, because a lot of the time I do go over the top and use a lot of colours and a lot of everything and crazy stuff, but today we're going to keep it quite simple. So I'm only going to use sort of 2 or 3 eyeshadows to do this because I'm trying to keep it as simple as possible. I would recommend if you want a really blended out look or even like a really blown out look, a white eyeshadow is something that you should try and have. Even if you don't have a lighter shade of the colour that you're originally using, a white eyeshadow can dilute the original colour and make it look very cool and blended and nice. So the first thing I'm going to do is fill in my eyebrows. I don't really have like a set eyebrow shape that I like yet because it's still quite recent that I've shaped them, but I think I just want to do a big long pointed brow. So this is the sort of shape I'm going to go for, just sort of a straight up line. I usually use 2 different eyeshadows for my eyebrows as well. I like to keep brown on the front half and use lighter strokes, and then on the end half where it's shaved I use a darker colour and usually blend it with black. So once I've got an eyebrow in, it doesn't matter if it's messy at first, I just spoolie it out. So the next step that I'm going to do is actually quite important to the eye look as well. I conceal underneath and around my eyebrow, but I also put product, foundation or concealer over my whole eyelid to create like a flat one colour base, so the eyeshadow is like consistent throughout. Hi, come a little bit closer. So yeah, you get a nice little pointed brow. I also conceal over it. Why? Because I like to put as much makeup as physically possible on my face. So when my eyebrow's done, I just cover my entire eye with the leftover product that's on my hand and just, you know, just pat it into my eyelid. I don't really like using sponges on my eye because I feel like it's too big and it'll just rub my eyebrow off and I'm scared of that. So I'm going to do the same things I did in my last video where I did my makeup and use tape. Tape is the #1 hack. Tape is in my makeup bag. Like, tape is just, I love tape so much. Use it for everything. Recommend tape every day of the week. Now, before I shave my eyebrows, I used to angle my tape towards the tail of the eyebrow, but now I change it so much, so I just sort of angle it wherever I want. But if you have eyebrows, I'd say go towards the edge of your eyebrow. So I'm just gonna go towards my temple because I like it. Okay, so eyeshadow. The first eyeshadow when I'm doing a black look that I want to go in with is grey. I use a grey shadow because it's a mid-tone between white and black. I use a fluffy brush, a dirty fluffy brush, to apply this shadow because I want it to be really blown out and blended. So I start at the bottom and like right next to my eye, and I work my way up. I don't apply too much pressure because you can put more on but you can't, it's harder to take away than it is to put on. So I just very lightly dust the eyeshadow. I also would recommend leaving the where the arch of your eyebrow is, just underneath that, try and concentrate less there because that is where highlight would naturally hit your face. So I always don't blend up that far at that portion of my eye because I put highlight there. I think one of the most important things with eyeshadow is blending. Like, you should just spend the most time blending something out if you want a really precise look. As I said before, white eyeshadow is really important, so I like to put it above the grey where the highlight would naturally hit my face and also blend it down into the grey. So it's more of a not natural, because let's be honest, this is me we're talking about, but it provides a better blend for the eyeshadows, and you can always go back in with the grey if you need to afterwards to make it a bit stronger again. So now I'm just reapplying a bit of the grey in concentrated areas, just patting it in, so I can get the colour back after I've just dusted the white over it. Now's the scary bit, the black. black can be a very intimidating colour. A lot of the time people just wear it for like nights out and just put it on the face and they're like, oh my god, it doesn't look good. Because black is scary. There's a lot of fallout that you can get from black shadows, and then if you do your foundation first and then use a black eyeshadow and it's all over your face, it's a nightmare. Also, people have trouble blending out black because you do need another shade to blend black out with. So say if you're doing a smoky eye, you can use a brown or a blue or a grey to blend black out. You can't, it's a lot harder to work with just black alone. So now I'm just taking a more dense brush, coating it in black, and with black, when I put the eyeshadow on, I do tap it off so I get less fallout, or at least I think I get less fallout. So I'm just going to pat that in the outer corner of my eye. I'm going to concentrate it by the tape line, come right up and across. So it creates sort of like an eyeliner effect almost. And I'm going to blend that through my crease, so the natural crease of my eye. And I think when you're doing your makeup, you should think about your natural bone structure and the curvature of your natural eye, because that's how you can tailor an eye look to suit you most. So after applying that black, I'm going to go back in with the grey again over the black, just to diffuse it a little bit. Oh, notice how all of this has shadow, but I've not put any shadow on the actual front to centre portion of my actual lid. That's because I'm going to use my foundation and concealer to cut a crease. Cut crease. I know cut creases can be very intimidating, but there is a hack that I learned on the internet because I used to really struggle with them. So basically I just take my little normal concealer brush, put my foundation on it, just put it on my eyelid, like on the lid, and then open my eye, and that's where I have to go up to. So if I just pat this along, it will give me the line that I need, so I can just fill in the space between, and that will be my cut crease. So if you're not really confident, you can just blend it out into the shadow by patting less, and then when you put your next shadow on, it's easy to blend. But you can also create shapes, so I've created like a little pointy wing shape, so you can get really creative with a cut crease and change the complete shape of your eye if you want to. I'm just going to use an even denser sort of packing brush to pat the white shadow onto the wet foundation that we just applied to my eye. So there we are with the white applied as well. Why am I making such weird noises? But again, I'm going to go back in with the black in this corner and blend it a little bit into the white. I just use a really cheap liquid eyeliner because I go through it really fast, so it's easier for me to use one. I've tried lots. I used to use felt tip liners because I think they're really easy when you're just starting out, because it's literally just a pen and you draw it on your face. They're so easy to use. I don't like using pencil eyeliners unless I want like a messy look, and I use them in the waterline, but for wings and like drawing things on my eye, liquid eyeliner would recommend. So when I'm drawing my wing, I draw on the tape so I can get it as close as possible, and then I just come off. And I draw the top of the wing first to about the middle of my eye. Then I start at the inner corner and just sort of connect it all, and then I can just fill in. You could stop here with the, like at the eyeliner for the top of the eye, but I don't have a stop button. I have the too much gene, so I'm going to go over the top of the cut crease with my eyeliner to just enhance the crease even more. This is terrifying. This terrifies me. It's very subtle, and obviously you can build up the line if you want, but that line has really enhanced the crease and makes it kind of wild, kind of crazy. The tape pull, and you can see it's made the eyeliner really straight. So before I do anything to the bottom of the eye, I apply my concealer, foundation, whatever you use under your eye, if anything. If you don't use anything, maybe would recommend just applying a loose powder to catch any fallout of black eyeshadow. So for the bottom of the eye, as I said, I would recommend putting some loose powder down. So I just use the little, well, that's horrible. I use a powder puff. Take an extremely liberal, clownish amount of powder and just press it under my eye. So when I'm doing the bottom half of my eye, I start on that outer corner, almost always start with black. So I'm just going to pack that into the outer corner, and I'm going to put this eyeshadow until sort of a third through my eye, right next to my waterline. So I have all this space. We're going to do the little goth point. So how I do it is I just sort of start to angle down my eyeshadow, and I use this thin flat brush, and then when I've got an idea of the angle it's going to go to, I only put a little bit of the eyeshadow on. I go straight in with my eyeliner and I just go for it. Or I go straight down like that, and then straight up into the rest of my eye. So after I've created the point, I take the same eyeshadow brush that I used to just do the outside, and I blend the eyeshadow sort of into the point. You could stop here if you want, but I like to fill the corner with white eyeshadow and put glitter over it because I use glitter all the time. I have an unhealthy addiction and I need help. So I'm just going to fill it in with white eyeshadow. I am going to use my favourite glitter. I like to apply it under my eyebrow, like directly under where the highlight of the eyebrow would be. So I just do a little line here and pull it out a bit, and then I put a little bit in the inner corner too, just over the white that we just applied. I think I might be allergic to this, but you know what? We move. Don't pump the mascara in and out because it just puts air into the tube and it goes off quicker. So just take it out, take the excess off, and then apply it. Wow. So the same on the bottom, but I'm gonna put less on this inner corner because we've created the illusion of the white highlight. So I'm gonna concentrate it on this outer corner the most. Trying so hard not to do the mascara face. Mascara. So this is sort of like the basic eye look that I would do. This is the foundation of the look. Sometimes I'll like draw extra things, like I'll draw like crosses hanging off, or some like dots, or some like little extra eyelashes or something, but this is the blueprint. This is the basic cut crease, TRAD goth, black and white, monochrome, easy look that I would do every day. So I'm just gonna throw a lash on and see what it looks like. I always apply my lashes with tweezers. They have a flat end, so like a square end on them. I also use a latex base glue. I use that Eyelure one. Obviously don't use a latex base glue if you're allergic to latex. So I will grab the eyelash close to the band, apply glue. You don't want to put too much glue because they'll just fall off. So I just do a reasonable amount. Then I just think instead. I place it on the very middle of my eye, push in to stick it down. I set the outer corner first, and usually I'll drag it up a little bit, and the inner corner is the very last thing that I do. And usually when I do my lashes, I squeeze them together so it's as close to my natural lash line as possible. So I've quickly thrown on sort of the rest of my face and done the other eye, so you can see what it would look like with sort of a full face look. So this is basically the whole look. If anyone has any questions about the products, I'll put them all in the description, everything that I used. If you enjoyed this video, you might enjoy my goth get ready with me video, so check that out. If anyone has any other questions, leave them down below. Like, subscribe, leave a comment. Love you.